Quad Cities, my name is Liz. I'm a volunteer with Quad City Babywearing, and in honor of International Babywearing Week, this week we've had some posts, some giveaways, and we have an event coming up tomorrow. And today what we're doing is a ring sling demo. I'm going to be showing you a quick demo for a newborn using a baby doll, and then for a toddler using my 3-year-old. But anyway, I'm going to start with my ring sling. There are a few different styles of shoulders. This one just happens to be a gathered. Some are pleated, some are a hybrid of the two. But first, I'm going to place the rings over my shoulder. I chose my left shoulder because where the rings are, there is a limited range of motion in this shoulder. And also, my toddler, I carry her on my left side, and so for a hip carry, this is what's more comfortable, but in reality, you should be switching up between the shoulders so that you're not putting all of the pressure on one shoulder all of the time. You're kind of equaling it out. So what you're going to do is you're going to put it over your shoulder, and you're going to grab the fabric, and then you're also going to grab the fabric here and make sure it's not twisted. This seam and this seam are the same, and we call that seam the rail, and they're both the top rail. So next step, what I like to do, I'm going to step back, is I like to gather the fabric in small portions with my hand. This just helps prevent any really big overlaps in the fabric that make it difficult to tighten at the end. So once I've gathered my fabric, I'm going to take my rings, and I'm going to take the fabric and I'm going to go through the bottom up of both rings. And I'm going to pull it through both rings all the way through. Now I'm going to make sure that I didn't get twisted and these rails are still the same. So the next thing is I'm going to take that same top rail, I'm going to spread the rings, and this is the top ring and this is the bottom ring, and it's going to go in between them and then out the bottom. I'm just going to pull all the fabric through. Once you have all of that through, I like to make sure there's not going to be big overlaps in the fabric because, again, it makes tightening difficult. So what I do is I find that same seam or rail, and then I kind of just fan out the fabric section by section, like that. And then what I do is I will take both seams or rails and I will just gently pull so that the fabric comes through a little bit in the rings. So then with a newborn, what I like to do is I stick my arm in here and I like to tighten it to this level before I even put baby in, just because if you have a squirmy baby, you want to be able to get them in as quickly as possible with the least amount of adjustment necessary. So this is where I start out. So now I've got the rings. I'm going to move them down to a boutonniere level or slightly higher, and then I'm going to grab baby. I don't have a newborn anymore, so we're baby dolling it up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my hand and I'm going to come up under all of this fabric and I'm going to guide baby's feet down under all the way through. Baby, newborn baby or infant is going to be on the front on your chest, and what I'm going to do before I touch any of this fabric is get baby into a nice M seat. So the M seat means that the legs and the butt make that M shape. So the knees are higher and the bum is lower. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to find that top rail again, just this top seam, keep as much fabric under the bum as possible, and I'm going to pull the top seam up just below baby's ears. See, there's a lot of extra fabric. So what I'm going to do while holding baby is pull it from the back and around to the front. Then, keeping hand on a baby, the section here and the section here go together. So what I'm going to do to tighten this is I'm going to have to pull this and I'm gonna pull it across my body, down and across. Okay, and now we're gonna go section by section and tightening. So I've got some loose fabric under the bum, so I'm gonna pull that up. Baby's foot got lost. So I'm gonna pull this fabric, and then this fabric correlates to this part. And so I'm gonna pull down and across. And then I'm gonna take it section by section and make sure everything is nice and tight and baby is secure. Once baby is secure on your chest, you can adjust this on your shoulder. If it's too much on your neck, you can come under and you can just pull it down so that it's more on your shoulder. And you can also pull it down your back so that it spreads more across your back. That will help with weight distribution and just make it a little more comfy for you. And then if baby doesn't have much head control and you want some extra support, there are a couple different techniques, but my favorite one is I kind of just twist all of this tail here. Twist it, twist it, twist it. And then I will take this top fabric and just roll it under like this. And that gives baby, if you can see, a nice little pillow support. And you want baby to be like right at your collarbone so you can look down and see and feel that baby is breathing. And yeah, that is a newborn ring sling. So to get baby out, I would first untuck the tail. And then all you do is this ring that's showing here, it's the bottom ring. You just lift up and it loosens. And then you can pull baby out this way or this way. I'm gonna take the fabric down and pull baby out this way. And that's a newborn in the ring sling. So let's move on to a hip carry with a toddler. I'm not gonna go over how to rethread the rings because I already did. So it's the same for a toddler too, threading them, putting them on. What I am gonna do is give myself just a little extra space because a 3-year-old is a lot bigger than a newborn. So I'm gonna loosen by pulling it up here, the bottom ring, pulling it up to give myself a little extra space so I can get my 3-year-old in there before I grab her. Okay, honey, come here. Okay, for a hip carry, it's a lot of the same information, but slightly different with a toddler. So I'm gonna put her on my hip. I'm gonna go under and through again, grab her feet, guide them through, then set her on my hip with all of the fabric under her bum. Then I'm going to find the top rail again, and I am going to pull it all the way up. Now she can be arms out, arms in. She just likes to snuggle, so her arms are in. And so what I'm going to do is pull the fabric from behind and then just pull and tighten across my body. And then I'm going to pull any loose fabric also up from under. Then I'm going to tighten it across my body. And then I'm going to go section by section and just tighten. And now she is on my hip, my side. I can also, if it's too much on my neck, pull it down so it's more on my shoulder and spread it down my back as well. But that is basically a toddler. And you can see how her seat isn't very deep and her legs are starting. She's not going to fall like that. It just is more comfortable if it's spread knee to knee. So I will fix that and adjust that for her comfort level and for mine, because when she's in this seat, she's not, what do you see? She's not straining against my center of gravity as much. So this is a hip carry with a toddler. And then so to get her out, it's the same. The bottom rail here, bottom ring, you just pull up, loosen the fabric, and then I usually, with a toddler, because they're heavier and harder to lift, just pull the fabric over her and then drop her to the ground and she runs off. But ring slings are great because they fold up really easily, they're really lightweight, and you can leave the rings set. So all you have to do is pull and tighten every time. And it's a quick up and down, and great for toddlers, great for newborns. Yeah, so if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments and I will be answering them. Thank you.